Man, we are getting a lot of people on today. People are like, I want to be pumped up. You guys came to the right call. Welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. If you're brand new joining us, thank you. If this is your first Tuesday call, this call happens every single Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern. Same link, so save it in your phone, set an alarm because every week, like this call brings fire, like every single week. As you guys were popping on before we hit record, I was telling everybody in the chat, I want to know, have you earned your Cabo trip yet, or did you get 50% pay raise today? Put it in the chat. Let's celebrate you. And I was just, telling somebody today how excited I am that literally we only have like a month left of 2020, and we're about to go into the best year ever, 2021. And so excited for the turnaround that is going to happen in this amazing business of ours. And I am super excited because I have a guest on today from my very own team. And she's going to be sharing her story and her heart and some tips. And she's phenomenal. I actually just got the amazing chance to spend a whole weekend with this beautiful woman. She invited me to her retreat. And it was incredible. It was incredible. I can't stress enough how much, if you guys see promotions go out for your team to earn retreats or trips or whatever, try to do it, because it's just such a game changer mentally, emotionally, physically. And Jacqueline is one of those people that she's got her stuff together. She's definitely organized, and it was honestly one of the best retreats I've ever been to. So I'm excited to interview Jacqueline Babler today. And Jacqueline, I wanted to start off with your story because there's just so many 9200Ks in this awesome company that people don't know everyone's story. And I think your story is going to resonate with a lot of people today. So I would love for you to kind of share, what were you doing before network marketing? Did you do any network marketing before Lavelle? And then how'd you find Lavelle? And we'll go from there.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for having me. So before network marketing, so I am a mom of 3 kiddos. So before network marketing, I was working full-time, corporate world. That's just what that's what I was told that we needed to do. I went to college and I started working full-time. I had switched jobs. So at the time, let's see, I had my oldest and then I have twins. So we had pulled my kids from daycare because it cost us an arm and a leg, and we just thought it'd be best to have them at home. So I would get up about 3:30 every single morning to get ready for work, to drive 74 miles one way. And I live out in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, so to be able to get a good paying job, I thought I needed to drive 74 miles. So I was at the office by about 6:30 in the morning every day, and I was supporting the president of a company, and I was just empty feeling. It was like I went through the emotions every single day. I was tired. I was falling asleep in meetings. I remember many times, and working for the president, you're taking notes, and I would be doing the head drop during meetings, and having coffee in the morning every single day. And 2:00 crash, I had a junk drawer, you guys, of snacks at my desk. And the moment I realized I needed something else was when my kids started calling me Whitney. And Whitney was our nanny. So they would accidentally call me Whitney. They would ask, oh, when is Whitney, coming over? When can Whitney come this weekend? And it just dawned on me, I'm like, these are my babies. And I was missing out on so much. In between meetings at work, I would get on live calls, put me on mute live calls, because our nanny was taking my kids to doctor's appointments. And so I was missing out on so much. So someone had approached me from a different network marketing company, and I listened to it, and I was just like, there's no way. I don't know. I've never done anything like this, but I said yes. I did not ask my ex-husband. I put it on my credit card, and that company gave me the foundation to realize how great network marketing can actually be for your family. So my goal was to make $1,000 a month with that company, and I would retire from corporate world, because take away, you know, what it cost me to have my kids be in, you know, not childcare anymore, but with a nanny, my gas mileage, my time, my wear and tear on my car, all that I took into perspective, and I said, all I needed was $1,000. And I did that in my first month and a half. So I quit my job and I started working for this other company. And then fast forward, I was spending almost $500 a month just to get, you know, the premium nutrition that I thought I needed. I was getting it for my kids. I was doing it myself. I was buying stuff at the end of the month just to meet my quota, because it was such a crazy company. And someone approached me about Thrive, and I hadn't seen much on Facebook yet because we were fairly still new, but I thought, what the heck? I don't think it's going to work, but I want to prove you wrong. And I remember telling her that, and I still tell people, prove me wrong. So I got my sample, and my first day, I remember calling up a friend and being like, I think this is all in my head, because I was told I would feel this way. So I was what you call a day one thriver, you guys. Before that, like I said, I was pumping $500 into my pocket of premium supplements. So I thought, but I was still napping. I was still drinking a half a pot of coffee when my kids got up in the morning, and they knew not to talk to me. And I would take a nap during the day. I would walk to the bus stop in my bathrobe or still pajamas, and I would have my coffee in my hand because I was on my second pot of coffee, you guys. So I was going through the emotion. I was a very high stress person, just because if things didn't go my way, I freaked out, and I didn't have that mood support. So life was always just for me, very high stress, very, looking at the clock. Oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock. Is it time for me to put my kids to bed? Because that's what I was excited about, to go back to bed. So when I started Thrive, first day, I did not have coffee, you guys. And this has been over 4 years. We joined October of 2016. And I have still yet to have coffee in the morning, which is crazy to me, because I would have my coffee in the morning, and sometimes I would pull up to Starbucks. They knew my order just by my voice because I went there so much. And I was still dragging butt. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So with Thrive, I've noticed I haven't had coffee. I'm not taking all those naps. I'm getting stuff done. And I can tell you, my stress level in life, just by being on these products, is so much better. Do I have bad days sometimes? Absolutely. I think we all do. But I also know that we have products that I'm putting into my body that I get free every single month, and I don't pay a website fee. I don't, have to worry about hitting those certain quotas of ordering certain things just to hit that every single month. So for me, I always tell people, like, I got my soul back. My kids, I remember I had them last week. And I remember it was early in the morning. I got up and I was making breakfast and I was singing and dancing. I literally made my kids mad because I was singing and dancing. They're like, Mom, calm down. But I'm like, I've already done my 3 steps. Come on, you guys, let's go. And they were just so frustrated with me. But I just feel like, it sounds cliche, but it was like someone just took my blinders off, and I was just seeing life the way it was meant to see again, just getting that freedom of being happy again.
So let's talk about your evolution to 200K. Like, what did it look like? Did you come in? Did you get your VIP bonuses? Did you go 4K quick, 12 quick? Like, let's talk about like the time span in between each rank.
So let's see, we joined, like I said, October of 2016, and I did go 4K my first week. Well, take a step back. I did get my VIP 800. So I just, once I heard about, you and I had spoke on the phone again, and you had said, Jacqueline's pretty organized, and sometimes it's a downfall to mine, but I researched, you guys. I wanted to make sure I was making a good choice. But the thing that got me is I looked at that comp plan and I said, this is something that I haven't seen anywhere else. And I knew that I needed it. I knew my family needed it. And so I jumped in. At the time, little did I know, that's when we had the $100 pack. And I only ordered the $100 pack, and that's what I started with. And I just started getting samples out. I started posting like crazy. Like, if I could feel like this after spending so much money on premium nutrition every single month and then going to, you know, only paying this much. And I was a day one thriver, so I was excited. I was just running on a high. So I went VIP 800, I went VIP 1600, and 4K my first week. It was crazy because my first check here was bigger than my last check for a month over at my other company. So I was just like, that was just a blessing. It was, you know, confirmation that I had made the right step. I went 12K in 28 days. So I earned my auto bonus. I have never lost my auto bonus. So I did wait to get, you know, my vehicle because I wanted to be a solid 12K. But it was like in 28 short days, my life had totally changed. Like, where else can you get weekly checks the way that we can get them? I got those first two bonuses, and then at the time, that's when we had the mini iPad. So I had another bonus of, you know, the $3.99 in cash. Now it's the Maui gyms. And I was getting an extra $300 because I hadn't upgraded yet. So I then stayed at 12K for quite a while. Let's see, that was my first. So so I would say I stayed until the following year. And it's funny, you guys, because I promoted to 40K while going through a divorce, you guys. So I got to a point in my life where I think just Thrive itself helped me become the person who I was, because I was just living life again to the fullest. I was feeling my best. I was feeling confident, and I knew I was doing well independently. So I took a very hard leap of faith. I filed for divorce and I promoted to 40K because I knew I had no other choice. So I went 40K, and a month later I went 80K. And I still remember having that really hard conversation with my lawyer, and he's like, you got to stop doing what you're doing. He's like, you're going to, you know, get in trouble going through this divorce and show too much income and blah, blah, blah. And I laughed and I said, no, I honestly can't, because I am scared as going to be a single mom of 3 kids. I need to find a place to live. I need to be able to provide for them. And I was scared, you guys, but I had no other choice. So when you are faced with no other choice, no other option, you take option B off the table and you're like, this is option A, this is my only choice. And I sat at 80K. That was, I think, March. And then that following February, I had ranked to 200K. And it was just like, I can't believe I did this as a single mom, you know. But again, I took all options off the table, and I just did everything I needed to do.
So how many years was that you were in before hitting 200?
So it would have been, I hit my 4-year, it would have been my 3rd year.
3 years to
Because,
go 200K.
yep.
And I always tell people, like, 3 to 7 years, dude. Like, that's about the time frame that it's going to take most people to hit 200K, that 3 to 7 year mark. It doesn't happen in 5 seconds for most people. Like, barely anybody will see that happen. And I just love your story too, because, you know, sometimes we get people on here that did go 200K quick. And I love when we get people on here that it wasn't this, you know, free ride, easy to the top. It took time, and it took, you know, not giving up, and it took falling backwards and moving forwards, and all the things that it takes to, you know, stick with the business and make it succeed. And I kind of wanted to ask you about that. In that time, can you talk a little bit about maybe frustrations you had, or like, were there times you thought this is never going to happen, or I want to give up? I mean, be as raw as you want to be.
Well, I mean, I think we all have those days that we want to give up. It's like, you know, am I ever going to get past this rank? Am I going to be able to maintain? I think was one of my biggest thing. And I was very, my team was very balanced for the longest time. And I didn't think I had that doubt until I became, you know, red-legged, heavy-legged, whatever we want to call it. And I think that's where you get worried and you're like, gosh, am I going to be able to do this? You know, am I going to be able to find new people? I've been doing this for how many years? And sometimes I do post and people don't even like it. Some people don't even, you know, comment on it, and you get frustrated, or you get people that comment and they're like, you're doing that pyramid scheme and you're a scammer. So yeah, people can get into your head really easily, but those are the people I have to remember, they are ignorant to this. They don't know what they don't know. So I always just remind myself, give them grace. They'll watch my story. Someday they might try it, someday they might not. But I always kept faith that this is my only option. I do not want to go back to working corporate world. I do not want to have to go spend, you know, some days when I live in Wisconsin, there'd be days it would take me 4 to 5 hours to get home with the winter days with the roads being so bad. So those days that I felt like quitting, or those days that I doubted myself, I would turn on a YouTube motivational video and I would get pumped up. And I would, you know, write down my why again, and I would dig deeper into my why. And if I told myself I could look my kids into the eye and say, you're not worth it, that's the day I could give up. That's the day I could quit, because I know I could never do that. So I knew for myself, this is where I'm supposed to be. Yes, have I, you know, when I hit 40K, you know, I stayed there for quite a while, or I went to 80K, but then I stayed at 80K for a while. I dropped down to 40, you guys. Then I went back up to 80. Then I hit the 200. Have I always made 200? Absolutely not. So, but I remind myself, there is no other place that we could have a community of women and people, there's men in here, but a community of sisterhood, a community of like-minded people that are just so loving and giving and supportive, that I look at my life now and I'm just like, I can't see myself anywhere else. I just can't. And the days that get hard, I look back at my why.
You know, one of the things we talked about at your retreat, and it was crazy how many people, like, how much we just have in common as people with everybody and our same fears and all of the things. But one of the things that we kind of talked about is how no other company does this kind of stuff. They really don't. Like, I mean, they just don't have that. I mean, sure, there's a lot of good network marketing companies out there. Can you go someplace else and make some money? Absolutely. But to have the kind of family community atmosphere, you know, I remember being with my last company, and the only time anybody was going to a retreat was if you were at the top rank. Like, and most of the people at your retreat were 4Ks, 12Ks. Like, it was not, hey, you have to be this rank to get noticed. And that's what I love about everything, you know, with Lavelle. It's so amazing. But it just makes me think about how, when you're talking about how lucky we are with this company, we truly are. I, you know, I think one of the biggest things that I admire you for personally is the fact that you are so together, right? I mean, you and I are total opposite personalities when it comes to actually being organized. Like, you are so organized, I'm not. And you've always stepped up and done a lot for our team. And one of the things we talked about was the fact that sometimes when you are that type of personality that has to know all the things and it is so super organized, that sometimes that can actually hold you back from business a little bit. Talk to those people out there that maybe feel like they don't know enough yet, or they need to know the ingredients, or they have to have a perfect schedule. Talk a little bit how you've had to find that balance and not kind of fall into that place of management.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had to do a lot of self-reflection in the 4 years, and I'm thankful that I have team members, you know, upline, sideline, downline, that are honest with me. And they've told me sometimes, Jacqueline, you're getting into management mode. And I do it without realizing it, because I am that person that I have downstairs, and I haven't touched it for years, but when I first joined, I did a binder. I had a sheet of every single product. I would read it. I would try to know as much as possible. I've read the comp plan, the policies and procedures, you guys, probably 20 times. But that wasn't growing my business, okay? Was it good when someone would ask me a question? Yes. However, to an extent, some people don't care every single ingredient that is in the product. They want to know what it does for you, how it makes you feel, and that's the best way to run your business. I can say, I'm looking more at myself as being organized on my daily activities, not so much about pouring into the policies and procedures and the ingredients anymore, because that held me back for a really long time. I would message people, and I'm embarrassed now to look at some of my old messages. I mean, I would give them a long text of, oh my gosh, the Black Label has this, and this, and this, and this, and it can do this, and have you ever looked up this ingredient? And I'm like, holy crap, I probably just scared the crap out of those people. So if you're sitting there going, I don't know enough, here's the thing I have to tell you. Have you tried the products? How do you feel? What has it done for you? That's all you need to do, and then share that. Because people don't care about every single ingredient. I mean, you don't see people going into GNC or into Target, Walmart, Walgreens and reading every single ingredient in the back, because I can tell you half the words, ingredients, they can't pronounce. They don't know what it is. They just want to know if it works. So when you go live, when you post on Facebook, you know, a picture of you with the products or you sharing your story, that's what is going to attract them. That is what's going to want them to try these products with you, because they're going to trust you. They want to feel as amazing as we do. And it might not be just, you know, like I've lost 20 pounds, you know, with this product. Not everyone's looking for that. A lot of people are just looking to feel better. The mood support, the energy, that is key right now. You guys, I can tell you, with everyone with sitting at home in their house, the ones that are quarantined with COVID, they just want to feel better. They just want to have that extra mood support. So stop doubting that you don't know everything and just go with what you do know and how you feel, and that's going to get you a lot further.
I just realized I was muted. I started talking. I'm like, wait, I'm muted. Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
And I'm like having a full conversation with myself. So give me a little bit about, like, what are some things that you feel like you're doing on your team personally, especially right now? I mean, we're in November, December. I don't try to fake it with anyone. I've been doing this industry for 10 years. November and December just suck. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm like, November, December, please just, could I be a bear, hibernate, and wake me up in January? Like I say this every year. And, you know, during this time, it's like planting seeds. I talk about it all the time. There's that planting seed season. What you do now is what's going to flourish when the new year starts. You know, you just got to be diligent. And like, what are you doing personally? Your team, what are you telling your team to do? Like, what are you doing in November and December?
Yeah, let me tell you, yeah, they are slower months. And it's funny because I, I try to tell myself they're only slow months if we say they're slow months, because let's be real. I joined in October and I went 12K in 28 days. So that would have brought us into November. So obviously people, you know, are still wanting, needing these products. It's the way that we are sharing them. So you know, I wrote down yesterday some of my weaknesses and some of my things that are holding me back. And I think we have to go back to the day that we started too. So we can make and accept that these are going to be slow months, or we can say, I'm not going to make it a slow month. I'm going to plant those seeds, like you said, because it takes sometimes people to see your post, you know, 20 times or even a year, and before they decide that they're going to take that, you know, leap of faith. Obviously, right now, people are a little bit tight on their money. They're holding tight on their money because of the uncertainty of the economy. Kids are home. Maybe they're working from home. Maybe it is they have started shopping for Christmas. Let's be real, you guys. People are probably pouring into Christmas a little bit more this year just to have a normal feeling in their lives again. But I also am showing, you know, a solution. So I have with my team, I do a lot of incentives, you guys, with my team, because not everyone gets to thrive for free every single month. So I make sure that the people that aren't thriving for free, I'm working with them to thrive for free. I'm telling them, you know, hey, if you can go get a customer, I will give you credits to offer free shipping, because that's my biggest thing, is to make sure that all my promoters on my team are thriving for free. Teaching them how to run their own incentives. So for instance, today is payday, and we have the option now, which I absolutely love, oh my gosh, to be able to take some of our commissions and turn them into credits. So what I'm teaching them is, because you can only do a lump sum of the credits, so I tell people, run your auto ships on the 5th or the 10th, okay? Let's say you thrive for free and you get, let's just use 150, and you do your 150 monthly auto ship. You have no credits left. So you're left the rest of the month with no credits. So either you're using product that you've already purchased at home to run as an incentive, or you are offering cash up, and not everyone can do that. So what I tell people is, now on this later paychecks in the month, if you can do $60, if you can do $30, 30 would be the minimum, I would say, because then you can offer 2 people free shipping at $15, and you're thriving for free. You're, you know, maybe you're already thriving for free, but then you're automatically getting another 2 people. So just teaching people like easy little tricks, you guys. You don't have to overcomplicate this. So it is just about being smart with your business. If you can't afford, if you say, I can't afford to give credits, I don't have any credits, and you're giving up on that, you are cutting yourself short. There's always something you can do. Maybe you have a set of black labels and you don't have to give a whole month away. Give a week away, you know, be like, hey, I want to give you a week of black labels. I'm teaching people on my team, you know, more about pre-posting. I have a lot of people on my team that work full time, some of them working 2 to 3 jobs. And right before I got on this call, I actually got up and I did my, you know, I showered and I did my makeup, you guys. And not that I don't post raw and real pictures, because I become more vulnerable in this business, because I think people want to see us real. I've stopped using filters. But because my hair and makeup was done, I just took about 10 pictures of myself with my DFT. When I get off this call, I'll probably change my shirt and I'll probably take a couple more. So I always am trying to teach people, take pictures when you can, change your shirt if you have to. Yes, it looks silly, but no one knows you're doing it. No one knows those pictures are all done on the same day. And then on the weekend, when you actually do have an hour of downtime, pre-post. Not saying to go out there and schedule them, but to save them in your notes. Or what I do is I save them I text myself, because I always have, if I have a text that is bold, I know that I haven't read it. So that's the way I track it. So yeah, batching. So that's where I will go and I will type something up, or I'll go to someone else's page. I'll change it up from their verbiage a little bit, and I save it. And, you know, then I can have a whole week's of posts that I have right in my back pocket. And it's kind of like, you guys, we work this business in the nooks and crannies of our day. If you are working a full-time job, cannot have your phone on, you know, and I hear that a lot. I can't have my phone on my work. I'll get in trouble. I say there's no excuse. You have to go to the bathroom, okay? You have to go to the bathroom sometime during the day. So you go to the bathroom, you take your phone with you, and you've got your batch of different photos in your post, and you post at the appropriate time of the day when you have the most, you know, people on there, and there's ways that you can check it. I always hit the live button. I can see, you know, hey, if 500 of my friends are on, if I get like 200 of them are on, I don't post at that time. But if I have 500 or more, that's a great time for me to post. So just batching it, you guys. I always say no excuse for working full time. If you want this bad enough and you don't want to have to work that full-time job anymore, batch them, pre-post, get everything ready to go. Consistency too. Like, another thing that I'm saying is your stories are huge, you guys. They are, and I know we had a Zoom last night on stories, or yesterday, or maybe it was 2 days ago now, but stories are so huge. There are people just scrolling through stories. So here's the thing, you can scroll through stories, you can look at them, but what I'm doing is I am interacting, okay? So no different than going through Facebook on your timeline and interacting with people, but stories, when you interact, instead of just hitting the love button, actually comment, you guys. If someone's posting a picture, for instance, here in Wisconsin, we had a ton of pictures of all these deer. Everyone was getting deer this last weekend. And I was actually going, oh my gosh, that's a nice deer. Whoa, look at that buck. Wow, you know, congratulations. And that goes right to their messenger. People love to see new messages in their messenger, okay? A lot of times when you comment on their post, yes, they get the notification, but not everyone checks the notifications. So I just think the stories is really key to interact in the stories right now. And make sure that you're doing at least a consistent post in your stories. We want to make our stories more about our lifestyle and what's going on, because that's what people get to know us, but also consistent. So I do a daily post now. I just started doing this. I have a little calendar in my kitchen over there. So every morning when I do my shake and I've got my DFTs, I take that same picture every single day. Obviously the date changes because I have a little calendar over there. I switch it up. Sometimes I do a video with some music, sometimes I don't. The other day I had like my heating little lavender wrap in there. Today I had my Thrive peptides and I put a little verb of that in there. Yesterday I did have my boost in there, so I talked about my boost. But it's still the same consistent post. So when we stay consistent, that's when people are going to know that we're truly plugged into this business. Because if we're going up and down, people don't know, are we still consistent? Is she still doing that? And it might look repetitive to you, but people know, they're going to know you for that post. So just interaction and just plugging in, you guys. Act like every month is planting season, because sometimes we get those, you know, months where we enroll, you know, 5-6 people and we're on a high and we stop working. So I always say work like your PPA is a 0 and you need to thrive for free.
You know, it was funny because we were just talking about every year. I was telling Chas this past weekend at her house, and even at your retreat, I was like, every single year in November and December, it's when we do the same. Like, I always plan a Thursday night team, um, basically team training video, or I go live in my team page about shiny object syndrome, because this is like a vulnerable time. Like, it's when people will decide to leave a network marketing company, or it's when people go and start network marketing companies, or all of that stuff happens. And it's so funny because we were talking about how every year we have to do this same freaking I remember 2 years ago, a bunch of people left for a company on our team, and now they're under their fifth company. And it's just so funny because it's like, be consistent, everybody. Stay the course, because where you go, you take you with you. And you just have to remember that this is about consistency. It's about showing your network that you are grounded, rooted, and that, I love what Chas says, I'm grounded, rooted, and I can't be cross recruited. Because you stand in your truth. Like, look, I don't care where you go. It's so funny. I was talking to, I have like some network marketing friends in other companies, right? Like, I've got a friend that's in a big network marketing company out there. We always touch base once a month. We're always like, how's your numbers? How's your company doing? And she was like, can 2020 just get here? My one friend, she's like the top earner in another company. And she's like, this is the worst year we've ever seen. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, we've actually seen a pretty decent year. So I'm looking like, man, we're doing really well. But I know that this time of year, it gets rough, like, for people. But what happens is, I was telling people at the retreat, a light switch goes off. Like, literally January 15th-ish, there's this light switch that was off that is now turned on, and all these people that you planted these seeds with, they need what we have. We have products that help you feel better, look better, a comp plan that literally doesn't match up to any other comp plan out there. And it's like, people are looking, and it is an amazing thing what can happen during that time. That's what I was explaining to everybody at the retreats, is you literally can jump 3-4 different levels in a 4-month period, because it's that prime time in network marketing. And I love every tip you just gave because it's about staying relevant, making posts, planting seeds, making sure that you are working this every day, like you just said. Like your PPA is 0 and you're running, like, I always tell people, imagine if I told you, here's a briefcase. I show up at your door. I've got a briefcase for $1 million, and I tell you, all you got to do today is go find one customer, and I will leave this briefcase with you. There's not a person on this Zoom right now that would not find one customer. Every single one of you would do whatever it took to find that one customer for that $1 million. Every day, that's how I work my business. I pretend that there is a briefcase in my front door and it's saying you can have this million if you sign a customer today. And every single one of us would do it every day, all day long for that money. It's all mindset. So I love your tips. They're so good, Jacqueline. I just love, 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 love them. What do you do like when you are starting out somebody new? Like they come in, they're in your inbox, they're like, Jacqueline, I'm ready to do this thing. What kind of does that look for you in your first 2 weeks with them?
So I've kind of changed up what I do now because I feel like when we first get people and we're so excited and we know what this company has to offer, we're telling them, well, you can get the $1,300 in the first 2 weeks. That, for at least me, looking back, let's say, 5 years ago, before knowing this, if someone was to approach me and say, let me get you $1,300, one, I might be like, yeah, okay. At first, I might be super excited, but then I think doubt would get into my head because it doesn't seem obtainable. So I bring it back a little bit and I say, let's first get you thriving for free. So I always, tell them, use 3-ways, you guys. If you're not using 3-ways, I don't even know what to tell you, like, without like being like super like blunt about things, but 3-ways are huge. I still use 3-ways, you guys. 3-ways are huge. I tell people either use 3-ways or when they're first starting out, if they're not comfortable throwing a friend in a 3-way, copy or screenshot, send it to me. I'm going to help them with their verbiage because what we're teaching our newbies is what they're going to be setting up for their future of teaching their newbies. So I always start very simple. Thrive for free. 2 customers. Anyone can do that. We all know 2 people that could use more energy, sleep better. They want that mommy fog gone. Maybe they just, have general aches and pains. Maybe they're, I don't know. We have so much stuff. I'm just thinking of like even what I use for, like maybe they're that person that cheats, eats, like was me. I had a snack drawer and I was constantly eating stuff. Maybe they just need that weight management. But whatever it is, I tell them, let's get you, make a list, and I have them do that. And I have a list, you guys. I have a notebook of a list of people, and I write down the dates the last time I've interacted with them because I always know it's maybe not the right time for them. And I tell people you're going to get no's, and that's okay. Until they block you, delete you, tell you not to message them again, those are always going to be your, your potentials. So I work with them very hard to thrive for free. Once they thrive for free, I said, okay, you're halfway to that, that first bonus. Now let's go find someone that wants to work this business, feel good, maybe make even an extra $50-100. Start small. I think when we say we can join this business and make $5,000 a week, people are just like, okay, you're crazy, because they just can't really grasp all that. So I really work closely. I start a group chat. I introduce them also to my upline. So I'm going to start, my direct upline is Stephanie Grachik, and I'm going to start a 3-way with her and say, hey, Sally, this is Stephanie. I just wanted to introduce you because here's the thing. Stephanie and I are very opposite in the business. She's going to be a little bit more red personality. Plus, let's say something happens where Jackie can't get on her phone right away, or let's say something happens to me where I can't get on my phone at all for a day. At least my new promoter still has support, still shows that we work together, we work as a team, and they have still help, so it's kind of like that backup plan, you guys. God forbid we think we can do it all, but let's be real, we need a team to do this stuff. So always introducing them to your upline. because they're going to have a different story than you as well. And I feel like that really helps them. So I would just say thriving for free is my biggest thing that I do for people. I don't throw them into I don't throw them into a bunch of training and say, get back to me. I don't. I first work with them very closely, and then I start dripping on them. This is the training, because I don't want to overwhelm them and feel like this is something that is going to take them 40 hours a week when it really doesn't. And then we lose them because they get overwhelmed and say, this is too hard. This really is. We do a lot of work, you guys, but this is truly easy to do. It's just sharing. It's just sharing what you love and how you feel.
Yeah, that's, I think, my biggest things too, is I don't want people to feel overwhelmed in any way, because I know one of the biggest reasons, like when I ask people what's holding you back, one of the biggest things they'll say is, I just don't think I have the time. I don't know how much time this is going to take. I don't want to let anybody down. And I'm always like, dude, this is your business. You run it at your pace. And I don't want to overwhelm them with a bunch of stuff that they're like, oh my gosh, this is just so overwhelming. And right away they back away. I love that advice. And the other thing I wanted to ask you too is, what are some of the ways that you are growing your network? Because like you said, you have been doing this a little while now, and you got to kind of continue to bring in new people and stuff like that. What kind of tips do you have for people that are trying to expand their network?
So I do add people. I'm not I'm not out there adding 100 people, 200 people. I've tried that. It doesn't work for me. I am more adding 10, 20 people a day, because I feel like I've got 4,000, well, probably, yeah, close to 4,000 people. But if I can honestly say I don't have the time to truly interact, build a relationship with those people, I can't keep adding. So for me, I'm constantly going through my friends' request, and I'm looking at people's profile. I just don't accept it because they send me a friend request. I look, are they going to add value? Um, is what they're posting really true? I mean, is there Effenheimers all over? Are they talking about how life sucks? They probably could use Thrive, but do I see them on my team? Probably not. So for my network, I'm really being, I guess, a little bit more picky, and it's kind of like interviewing them without actually talking to them. When we look at someone's profile, it talks a lot about them. So think about your own profile. If someone was to go look at it, do you look spammy in this business? Because another thing is, when we're friend requesting people, are you friend requesting people 5 minutes after you made a Thrive post? Because think about this. If someone friend requested me and I went to their timeline and their first post was a network marketing thing, it might leave a bad taste in my mouth. So I try to do my friend requests after I do a lifestyle post, maybe of my kiddos, maybe of the dogs. If I don't have the kids, I do post about my dogs, because I don't always have my kids here. They might be at their dad's house, or I might find an old picture from a retreat, a getaway, just something exciting that I did maybe last summer, and be like, gosh, the colder weather is coming. I really miss these kind of days. It doesn't matter, you guys, if you posted that picture before, people don't always remember. But I try to make it more of lifestyle, something that people are going to relate to. And then I friend request people. Do I jump in their inbox right away? I don't. I kind of creep on their page. I start commenting. I start loving on them and building the relationship. So I think for me, building my relationship, I'm really going into, who am I friends with? Because the thing is we can have the max amount of friends, but if we're not interacting, we're not building relationships, those people, one, aren't seeing our stuff, and two, what's the point? Like, we're here to network. We're here to that's what our business is, network marketing. We're here to talk to people. So if you've added people in the past and you haven't interacted with them in 3-4 years, either one, go out and start interacting with them, or two, maybe you're just not jiving with that person, and it's okay to delete people. I get a daily reminder of who I'm friends with, you guys, and I do my birthday wishes every single morning. And do I delete people on their birthday? Absolutely. Because I might find someone that I've added 3 years ago, and I go on their profile and I'm like, we haven't interacted, or they've commented on my stuff and it's been pretty yucky. And I actually will delete people. And it's okay to do that, you guys. It's not a number, you don't get a big prize for having maxed out on your friends. And it doesn't, make people look at your page and think you're awesome because, oh my gosh, she's got 5,000 friends. But make sure you might only have 300 friends on Facebook, but if you're building relationships with those 300 people, that's how you're going to grow your business. So set a number for yourself. Like for me, I said I do about 10. But if you're that person, you want to go add 100 people and you have the time to interact with them, more power to you. But set a number at the beginning of the month. I always say I'm going to add this amount. And I break it down, you guys, because when we do our monthly goals, I feel like sometimes we write them down to feel good. We write them down, we share them with our upline, and they sit there. And there's no action. So that's another thing is, are you keeping yourself accountable? So for me, I write them down. And I have a checklist, my goals, it's just my goals written down. It's not technically a checklist, but you know, I say I want to enroll this many promoters, and I have on my piece of paper that I look at and I mark. So yesterday I got a customer, you guys, I put a little line there. So I keep track because to me, I go back and I can look and be like, okay, you know, so far I've got 2 customers this month. So technically, yes, I rethrive for free, but my goal was 4. So I've got work to do still this month. So I just think keep yourself accountable, because when we write those goals down, if you do nothing with them, stop writing them down because you're just wasting your own time. Be intentional and be, you know, don't say I wanna re-rank or I want to jump, you know, and go to 40K and you're sitting at 4,000 in volume. Be realistic, you guys. Break it down. What are you going to do every single week? Because then things don't seem as big and as scary. And if it's, I want to make sure I'm consistent posting in my stories. I want to interact with more people. I want to make sure that I do the birthday wishes every single day. Maybe you're that person that's brave enough to record a video singing happy birthday and you send it to people. You know, it is whatever works for you. Keep doing it, because I know I have compared myself in this business, you guys, and that is one of the biggest thieves. I have found myself in a dry month when I compare myself and I say, I want to be like X, Y, and Z. I want to be able to be a mass promoter enroller. And I start looking at their page and I start doing posts like they are. And I find that I don't enroll anyone. My volume goes down. So it's funny how I am a high customer enroller, and that's what works for me, you guys. So I try to pretend of who I don't pretend who I'm not, because I know I've just got the, you know, more of the customer base, and you know, every once in a while I get those promoters and I love up on them as much as I can. But I have learned that I do what works. I don't try reinventing the wheel. I don't try being someone else, because I feel like people just kind of see through that too.
You know, you brought up such a good point, and you know, that comparison game and trying to be somebody you're not. And it's like we stop focusing on our good attributes and we stop focusing on what we do well, and we start focusing on why can't I enroll like Twin? Why can't I, you know, have this many followers on Instagram like so and so? Like we do that. I mean, we all do that. And it really what it's doing is it's stopping our progress and holding us back. One of my favorite quotes is, you know, about comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, because it seriously takes away your joy. When you start to compare yourself, you literally get down on yourself and everything starts going in the opposite direction. I love how you know, focus on the things you are good at. You know, focus on that. You don't have to be someone else. You know, we've got people on our team that are crazy recruiters, and we've got people that don't recruit many at all and are such crazy, amazing leaders that they don't need to recruit that many because they're so good at leading the few that they do sign to the promised land. I mean, so it's all about finding what, you know, your method, what works for you. And speaking of that, I was going to ask you if you are somebody that, I think one of the biggest things when I put out there, um, just what do you want a training on, or what would you like a video on? One of the biggest ones I get is how to get organized, how to manage my time. I know that that is something that you are good at. What kind of tips do you have for that person on today that is trying to figure out, how do I manage my time? How do I freaking make sure that I'm doing this business every day, fitting it into my life? How do I stay organized?
I'm not going to tell you guys I'll get clipboards and start spreadsheets, because that's not the way everyone rolls. But I I would say start small, you guys. We've all heard the 6 list, okay? How easy? How much more simple can we get? We write down every single night before going to bed, you guys. Write down your 6 things that you need to do tomorrow. And it might not all be Thrive related, but it might be I need to, like on my list today, I need to go deliver pizzas because my son did a fundraiser and I still have people's pizzas in my freezers because I keep forgetting to write it down. So it might just be life, it might be work. So I have on there, I need to follow up with the people that are getting their products. I need to follow up with the people that are getting their mini experiences. Those are my reminders. And when I don't write it down, I forget. And then I all of a sudden will see in my messenger and it's like, oh my gosh, they've already pretty much done their 3 days. And did they do it correctly? How did they feel? So I try to write down if you have minis going out, that is what you want to be writing down. Follow up with those minis. If you have someone that just ordered, you want to follow up with them and you can check their tracking, you guys, right in your back office. You know when they're getting their products. Don't wait for them to say, hey, I got my product. I'm so excited, because not everyone does that. Maybe it is writing down, I need to comment on 10 non-thrivers posts today, whether that's in their stories or in their timeline. You know, I feel like sometimes we get so caught up with congratulating, liking, and loving every other thrivers because we want to be that community. We want to love up on our team. But we forget about the non-thrivers. So a 6 list pretty much is writing down 6 things. It can be 50, it can be 100, but 6. And do it in the order, you guys, of the least desirable, okay? So maybe it is that hard follow-up with someone that's been really kind of pushing back on the products and they're just not ready. You know, I always say get the worst one out of the way. Get it done with, because the rest then are all going to seem easier as you get through the day. So your 6 lists are going to be totally different than my 6 list. Like I said, I have on there, and it's just now become a routine. I used to have birthday wishes on my 6 list. I don't write it on there anymore because I just do it naturally. It's become part of my routine. So the 6 list is really to keep yourself accountable for the day. And maybe you get through 5 of them and you've got one, well, put it back on your list for the next day, because I feel like it still needs to be done. But sorry, I just got a message I'm reading. I scrolled on you guys. That's why I need lists, because I'm just, I get squirrely. But the 6 list really is just for yourself. You don't have to share it with people. It's kind of what the IPAs are, you guys. So if you don't get income producing activities, if you are not doing at least 3 or 4 of them a day, I encourage my team to do 6 of them. I give them a list of 12 a day and I say, please try to do half of them. They're suggestions. They can take them, they can leave them, they can look at them and, you know, pass through it. They can, but I feel like if you're doing something that's an income producing activity, your business is always going to move forward. It might not feel like it right away, but it's going to move forward. So it's staying consistent. And I know we say this every single week, and I think every leader I hear tells their downline, consistent. But it's the truth. Like, as long as you stay consistent with your business, you have a list of what you need to do. Think of the satisfaction of crossing that off every single day. You're like, did that, interacted with that person. I did a post about minis. Maybe that's on your 6 list. I'm going to post about getting minis out, because think about how you started Thrive. Did you start just, you know, by seeing a post and you signed up, or did you actually try a mini? That was how I started. So I try to put on my list that I am going to get, you know, at least 4 minis out a week. That's my goal. But how am I going to do that? You guys, we need to be intentional too. So we don't just want to write it down and be like, well, what's the game plan? You have to have a game plan. So are you posting about, you know, I have a drawing. Are you posting about, you know, which one are you? And you've got the little pictures of the different, you know, packets of mail outs that are going out. Are you showing a picture of you at the post office mailing stuff out and be like, hey, do you want to claim the next mini? So it's just about keeping yourself accountable and really doing those income producing activities. Otherwise we find ourselves doing busy work and scrolling through Facebook. Let's be real.
Right, totally. Yeah. I mean, I think that's people's biggest issue is they fall into management mode and then they start doing busy work, like scrolling through Facebook for 5 hours and, commenting on their team stuff and, checking in with their team. And then it's like, okay, I did not do anything for my personal business today. And that's where people like totally start moving backwards because they forget, like, I've got to work my own business. I've got to recruit. I've got to add new people. I've got to I was just telling people this weekend, I follow two things I follow in life are the 80-20 rule and then the 1/3 rule. The 80-20 rule states that I need to be spending 80% of my time with the 20% that are actually working their business instead of 80% of my time with the 80% not working, because it's what a lot of us get caught up doing. And then the 1/3 rule is if you're going to work your business an hour every day, 20 minutes of that hour needs to be spent on your personal business, making sure you are friend requesting new people, building relationships, adding new. 20 minutes needs to be spent with your current team, checking in, shouting out, three-way messages, whatever they need you for. And then the other 20 minutes needs to be spent with you in your first 4 levels in VIP 800, anybody brand new. And if you follow that, if you could only put in an hour a day and you follow that 20-20-20, I promise you guys, you are never going to miss out on that 20 minutes every day that you're adding new people, that you're building your network, that you're growing it. And that is just like Jacqueline said, this is networking. You've got to network. I mean, there's no way around it. That's how this business grows. My last question for you, Jacqueline, is we all know how important self-development is. You kind of touched on it a little bit. For you personally, do you have any recommendations book wise that you feel like, dude, everybody needs to check out this book? Or is there a podcast or a certain person that you listen to that motivates you? What kind of self development tips do you have for like maybe that person just starting out in that area and they're like, okay, I want to dive into self development. Where do I start?
So it's funny because in the last month, I've changed kind of my routine. So I always tell my team self-development, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and people are like, I just don't have the time. Well, for those of you that are driving, I remember when I would drive into work, I would listen to podcasts. I don't have that now. Sometimes I don't even leave my house some days because I don't need to. But what I do now is because I can't stand, like, it's so quiet in my house right now. I have the TVs off. I just always need background noise. So I usually have music playing. So what I've done now is I play every day, and I just listened to the most amazing one, and I've saved the link, and I can post it in the Dream Team page because I posted it in my team page. But I find a video on YouTube, you guys. You don't have to watch these. So just play a video. Like if you're going to be taking a shower, you're going to be doing your makeup, whatever you're going to be doing. Yes, you can be jamming out to your own music, but you can also be pouring into yourself. And it's funny now of how many different videos I have watched, and I can be in the shower and I can be like, that's Les Brown. That's, and I can start listing people's names just by their voices because I have watched so many or listened to so many. But my biggest thing is for my self-development, there's no more excuses. I get up in the morning, I do my devotional, you guys, because I feel like we can self-develop on our business and what we should do, like networking and tips from pros and other entrepreneurs. But if we're not self-developing to better who we are, we are missing the picture, because this is part of our journey, you guys, is growing who we are inside. And I feel like sometimes when you get stuck, it's not that the business isn't working for you. It's not that, you're not doing the do. It's maybe something going on in your personal life that you're getting stuck in your business, because they do go together, you guys. So take a deeper look at yourself and think, maybe my self-development needs to be a self-development book on, boundaries. I've read some books on boundaries. I've read some books. The book that my team just got is The Tree Spirited Woman, and it's geared towards just life and things and struggles we go through. And I feel like self-development sometimes needs to just be self-development in who we are personally, so we can grow as a person, so we can then pour into our business too. So if you're getting roadblocks in your business, look at yourself. And I'm not saying like you're a bad person. I'm not saying your life is shit, and you've got all this drama, but we can have the best life, but we still need to always work on who we are to be much better. So I would say for self-development, I just say, grab a video, and maybe that one doesn't speak to you, grab another one. Just type in motivational speakers or speeches or videos on YouTube. But I do go to, I've subscribed to a couple of them, and I would say Les Brown just rocks my world because he's so raw and real. But there's some great speeches out there. Just search, you guys. I mean, it's not like you have to go buy 100 books and invest in that. You can do it all on your phone.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. And guess what happened, y'all? We just got paid.
We just got
Um,
paid.
and no matter what your paycheck is today, be grateful. There are people out there that, I know I was just with Stephanie Grachek, and their whole city, like their whole state is shut down, guys. Like the entire freaking state shut down, done. Everything's closed again. People are out of work. And I just think, gosh, even if it's $50, that's $50 somebody out there wishes that they had right now. And it's so why when all of this starts to blow over, everyone is going to be joining network marketing. Once they have a chance to breathe and they're not nervous about money, they're going to go, I need a plan B, because when something like this happens again, I need to be prepared. And that's why I have no doubt that this next year is going to be so huge for us and in this industry. It's going to be crazy. So Jacqueline, I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate all of you guys that hopped on today. Every week, jumping on this call, pouring into yourselves, grabbing tips from the amazing 200Ks that hop on and share their stories and their hearts and definitely their tips. And one thing always resonates with me, just how similar every single week. Everybody's story is different. How they got there is different. The amount of time is different. But the one thing that's always the same with every single 200K is how they got there. And that was not giving up, not getting sidetracked, not, losing their way, but just having bad days, picking themselves back up and jumping back in and getting consistent and just believing and staying the course. It's so crazy how many people we've had on this Zoom over the last year that have had the story of, gosh, I thought I was 200K and went back down to 4K, and now I'm back to, a million. We had a story like that because they had lost a leg or their business fell apart because they had hit a season in their life where they didn't work it. But one thing resonates with me is everybody that stuck with it and stayed the course and didn't give up, everybody's always come back to that place of victory, every single person. So it's just so exciting. I appreciate you, Jacqueline. Happy Thanksgiving this week, everybody. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your loved ones, those of you that are allowed to see them and allowed to have a little bit of a Thanksgiving. And our prayers and thoughts go out to our friends and family in our business that are struggling this time of year. And not only that, but that won't be able to have a big Thanksgiving because of COVID and their state restrictions. So I just want you guys to all know that we are thinking about you. Our hearts and prayers are with you. And definitely, I don't know, I was thinking about putting together maybe a little thankful Zoom or something Wednesday night, so we'll see. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And thanks,
You're
Danny, for
welcome.
recording. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Bye, guys.